In a weird way, hustling my way through life, I romanticize struggle.
Yeah.
And people always say, oh, let's not romanticize. I'm like, if you don't struggle, how do you make it? Why do you think I'm here? I've had this credibility as a journalist is because I put in the extra hours. Don't be inauthentic towards your readers as well. Just be honest about it. Own it. I want to tell everybody who was like struggling on why don't I get noticed? Are you putting in your time consistently? Are you being consistent with what you're doing? Don't start something and forget it if you don't get the hits. If that story is not, keep at it. So don't go for clickbaits. Just stay at it and be consistent. Don't be disheartened and always speak the truth.
Hi, and welcome back to the Kelly Lumber podcast. In this episode, we are diving into all things Hollywood and Bollywood. I have Manjusha on the podcast. She is the entertainment editor for Golf News. And I was so curious to speak to her, not only about incredible interviews, people she's met on the red carpet, but also when you're pitching a story as an entrepreneur, what do they look for? So what do editors look for? We chatted about what makes a story newsworthy. There was how could you really pitch yourself to the media and get their attention that they go, yes, we want to have you, which happened to me just recently. So if you've ever wondered how to get featured, then this episode is for you. Welcome to the show, Manjus. It's really good to have you here.
Thank you so much, Kelly. It's such a pleasure.
We connected. Well, we've known each other, 19 or 18 or so years.
That's right. I haven't been married that long.
But we connected just a few weeks ago and you wrote this wonderful success story on my personal brand journey, which I'm so grateful for. I got so many comments about, but I really wanted to dive more into your journey in entertainment within Golf News, but also what you look for when it comes to pitching stories to your editor and tips that you can share. So why don't we backtrack? How did you get into what it is that you do?
So I'll be very honest. My journey with journalism, which I love, I'm in love with the job I do. I interview stars for a living. What's not to love about it?
From Hollywood to Bollywood
Yes,
and everywhere
now to
else.
K-pop, to J-pop, bring it on. I'm
Love
like,
it.
yeah, I love my job. I started 20 years ago as a print journalist. Think magazine, which had more of TV guides. So it was soul-numbingly boring as well, putting all these, let's say, the schedules in.
Yeah.
So it was very painstaking. But from there on, I started reinventing myself. I started diving into the arts and cultural scene. So it was print first at first. And then when it went into digital, I made sure that we thought about what would make a story fly on the digital platform. So I'm all about the digital, the power of digital media. Now went into journalism thinking that I'll do hard-hitting stories. But here is what I did. I came to Dubai. I saw an opportunity here where there are like these amazing stars who come to Dubai all the time. Even 20 years ago, we had some of the best talents coming to town. I made sure that I got access to them. I began interviewing them. I did profile pieces that were deep and not just clickbaity or just sensational. There was a gap where, people just wanted to know or they wanted us to humanize the stars. And that's where I came in. So I began as a sub-editor, then worked my way up to becoming the entertainment editor of Gulf News. And let me tell you, Gulf News is like the most leading English daily in the UAE. We get access to everything. I mean, you tell people you're from Gulf News, half your battle is won, I'll be honest. But creating a brand within a legacy brand, that takes time. How do you stand out when the brand itself is bigger than you, right? So even now, Gulf News is bigger than me. But I've managed to create a niche where in the field of entertainment and lifestyle, perhaps people come to me, they want me to interview the stars. So it's a very sweet place to be. And it took a long time. I'll be honest with you, it took me 19 years to be where I am today. So from interviewing stars to doing movie reviews, first show. I've gotten up at 4 a.m. to review movies because I know people care for it. And I don't take, just to be honest, putting it out there, I don't take bribes. I don't get paid for my reviews. I refuse to do all of that. I mean, people do ask you.
Authenticity.
Yeah, I'm very ethical when it comes to my work.
Yeah.
So I make sure that our reviews are very honest and I try to humanize the stars. And I think that's where I have created a brand. Be authentic, humanize them. They're also just like us.
I always say that your personal brand and showcasing behind the scenes and telling stories is a huge part of humanizing your brand. You've been doing it consciously, but in some ways subconsciously humanizing brands when they didn't realize that they had a personal brand. So what is the piece that you look for? Like, what is the story, or like, how do you know that they've got a story that's going to make something newsworthy that people will keep reading?
That's so interesting because right now my inbox will be inundated with mails, right? Let's say, oh, she's got an inspiring story. Don't give me don't give me these broad terms. Tell me, why is she inspiring? For instance, Kelly, the reason why I thought your story really stood out was you were a cabin crew, you were a stylist, and then you kept evolving. And now you run your own podcast show. Now that's a great story. Don't tell me she's a Dubai success story. What does that even mean?
Okay,
So
so
be
specifics.
specific. God is in the details. Remember that. Tell me, and if you can't tell your story within, like, say, 3 minutes, let's say we're waiting for a bus. Why is Kelly important? If you're not able to prove that to me, you've lost me already. So we have such limited time. Make sure to tell us why we think we should feature you. Many a times PRs, that's public relations, they're amazing people, well done. I really love them. But often they don't know their own clients. I ask them, okay, why should I feature them? Let me get back to you. You just send me an email about them. So you need to be sure about what you're pitching to. For instance, I had a beverage brand, I remember, talking about a celebrity coming. Unfortunately, we are a family-friendly newspaper. We don't often cover beverage brands. So they're then pitching to the wrong audience. Know your audience. That's one thing that you need to really understand. Another thing is always be empathetic. Whoever is, let's say I'm interviewing you, or I'm interviewing Tom Cruise, or I'm interviewing, let's say, Joaquin Phoenix. They're all very different. They're all very vulnerable. And let's also be charming with them. Let's also learn that they are not flawless. They're just surrounded by people who want them to be flawless. They are not, right? So that's the whole thing. Always make sure that you give them respect. I think always respecting your subjects has taken me so far. Ask the hard-hitting questions. Doesn't matter. But ask them in a very sensible and not a sensational manner. I don't know if that makes...
Sensible, but not sensational.
That's
Ooh,
it.
I like that.
I should put it on my t-shirt.
You should. What are some of the big mistakes then that, somebody trying to pitch a story, so they don't know them, they don't know who they're trying to pitch. What else?
I would say that, when they want to do like short gap measures, they want, even PRs are very smart, or let's say the people around them, like say a publicist, they often plant stories. Like for instance, let's say she's going to the airport, these airport looks, right? It's consumed. But my whole point is, if you're telling us to turn around, let the celebrity not ask, oh, who called you guys here? Your team did. You know what I mean? So don't be inauthentic towards your readers as well. Just be honest about it. If airport looks are trending, you made an effort to be in athleisure, own it. I think anybody who is not very authentic gets called out, and even PRs have to be very careful. And also many stars, I mean, I deal with stars mostly than civilians, honestly, celebrities over civilians. What I do is, like, they're often looking at sculpting their image too carefully. And then there's always a distance. And I would say even the handlers around them, people that they surround themselves with, they're not giving them the real story. What do people want to see you in? I think the idea is they should be surrounding themselves with people who tell you the truth. Even if it's a bit sour, you don't like it, it's the bitter truth bombs. Sometimes once in a while, it just grounds them. I think that's where people go wrong. The PRs as well, they try to, let's say, elevate a star into the superstar status very quickly. It doesn't work like that. Let the work shine. And I often tell them, what has he really done to be on the cover of, let's say, Gulf News? They often demand, where will this story come? What will I get? What are the deliverables? That's not how you approach the story. Is his story worth being told? Secondly, there are many people who try to assert control. They try to sanitize the questions. Even the hard-hitting questions are often like today I'm going for an interview. I'm not going to name and shame. But the kind of sanitization of my questions, I was like, really, why don't you do the interview for me then? So we do come up with a lot of resistance from handlers, from the stars themselves. I'm sure the stars are the one briefing them, but they are just the messenger. But still, I think everybody should learn to push back a bit. Like if you think something is not working, tell them. Tell your client. And for us, readers are king. For me, I really believe my audience are our readers. If it benefits them, then you make it. nothing else matters, whether you look amazing on a red carpet, etc. Really, like for instance, I can give you another example. Today, there was a red carpet appearance of a Bollywood star. She is an ambassador for Gucci. She had a slight tummy. Maybe she had a burger, or maybe she's pregnant. The entire internet went into an overdrive asking, is she pregnant again? I'm like, how did you reduce? And I wrote an opinion this morning on Gulf News. It's there. You can read it. How can you reduce a woman into her belly and her body parts, whether she's pregnant or not? So have an opinion. I think having a strong opinion really helps you break the noise. You can be the clutter breaker there. Break the clutter. Have an opinion, and don't be scared to voice it. Many a times people go with what's popular. Like what would have gotten me hits, honestly, is, oh, is Alia Bhatt pregnant again? We speculate, would have gotten me a lot of hits. But no, I'm like, no, why are you reducing a woman into whether she had a burger, whether she had how does it matter? She has done tremendous work. She's like a teen icon who's now a face of a global brand.
Yeah.
You can't see that, but you're seeing her tummy and speculating, reducing her into, just her womb. I thought that was really insulting. So I wrote a piece about that. That's it. You need to write about pieces that you care for. Don't worry about what the internet is doing, what the Insta is doing, what's happening in the real world. Then that's a dark hole.
Yeah.
You can never come out of it.
That's great tips. So what have been one of your best interviews that, someone watching or listening could learn from? Where you're like, okay, they said this, or they did this, or they came across like this, or they followed up. Like, what's one you can remember?
Kelly, I've done over 2,000 interviews, but every interview of mine, I treat it like my first.
Okay.
I look at every interview, whether they are A-listers, B-listers, C-listers. Trust me, there's a food chain when it comes to stars and people. I treat them the same, with the same respect. And I ask the hard-hitting questions. It's not like I let them off the hook because of that. But I remember talking to a major South Indian star. His name is Mohanlal. And during a press conference in Dubai, and this was years ago, when Me Too was just bubbling over, had percolated from Hollywood to the Indian industry, he called the Me Too movement a fad. I was shocked that here is a man with millions of followers. People emulate you, calling Me Too a fad. The press conference was over. I got to sit with him for 6 minutes. In those 6 minutes, and I remember, or maybe less than 10 minutes for sure, I asked him, what did you mean by that? And he kept saying, yeah, if Me Too is by women, then men too should have a movement. He was very flippant about it. Perhaps he was joking. Perhaps English is not his natural language. It was lost in translation. I don't know. He just went on about Me Too being a fad. And to me, that story got picked up by it got a lot of attention. And I gave him several points to perhaps backtrack and say the right thing, perhaps, at least be diplomatically correct. But he didn't. He just flew with it. And that story has haunted him for even now. People talk about it. That interview again surfaced when Me Too movement was again, topical again, So that interview keeps coming up. Another star called Irfan Khan. I don't know if you know him. He was in Spider-Man. He's no longer there, but he's talked about marital rapes in India. How it's so prevalent in arranged marriages. Husbands don't ask their wives in India for permission, and there's often violation. He spoke about it. He stood with the story. It went viral. It got picked up by everybody. But the best part is, I expected his team to go back on it and say, oh, the star didn't mean it like that, or to sanitize it a bit and tone it down. Instead, he called me back and he's like, I stand by what I said. We had a follow-up story. And the fact is that these stars trust you with it because they know we are not going to misquote him, or I'm not going to misquote him. I'm not going to put words in his mouth.
Yeah.
I don't go into an interview thinking I'm going to get the best story of my life with him. Let me extract whatever sensational headlines I can out of it, clickbaity stuff, or ask them about personal. I'd never intrude into people's personal spaces. I think that's one of the things that's held me in good stead. And also I have all these stars who I review movies, right? And fortunately, I think I'm being a humble brag here. Since I am not swayed by gifts or whatever money.
I'll take the Gucci bag back then.
Yes, clearly I often had calls where they said, oh, what do you really like? I'm like, I need a life. I need sleep. That's all I need. And you can't help me there. But things like that. But people write to you asking, what did you think of the movie? They DM me personally. I think that's where you know you've done something right. When stars, celebrities, or they trust me with their stories, even if it's a controversial take, they let you know. And I remember Tom Cruise. I had observed him while he came for the Mission Impossible premiere. He was so patient with his fans. The way he went from one person to the other, talking to them, and just making them feel important because they'd waited for hours to just get a glimpse of him. He made them feel important when he is their idol. And that I thought was a great tip and just a life lesson. Just be humble and just be patient. Will Smith is another person. He just cracks me up. That man's energy is amazing. He's lovely. And he's so great with his fans. Anybody who can connect with their fans, like Ranveer Singh, for instance, his energy is crazy. He'll just come and jump up and down, and you're like, oh my God, calm down. But these guys, they love life. And
Yeah.
even if they're not performative for the camera, they are like that, most of them. So I love seeing that kind of side. And I think these are the interviews that really stayed with me. And interviews can make or break you, Kelly.
Yeah.
I remember when Salman Khan, that's a Bollywood superstar, he was convicted. Yeah. I remember when Salman Khan, the Bollywood superstar, was facing conviction over some hunting case. Becky Anderson from CNN, their team got in touch with me, asking me to speak about the issue for my commentary on why do you think Salman Khan is a big deal? What does it mean for the Bollywood industry and his brand image? Just to know that I could be the voice. Perhaps even explaining a certain issue, important issue, I felt I had arrived. I think that was like one of the most career defining moments in my life. 20 years, and it all distilled to that one moment as well. Just to know that globally CNN is watched by everybody, right? Just to be on CNN with Becky Anderson, who I admire. I think she's brilliant. I was 9 months pregnant with my twins, I think. Heavily pregnant, but I was like, even if I go into labor, I am there talking about Salman Khan and maybe throwing slight shade on the actor.
Yeah. How would you describe then your personal brand in 1-2 words?
I'm fearless. Fearless, I ask the hard hitting question in the most soft manner. I can really go in for the kill while smiling. So, kill with kindness, people.
How do you practice that then?
I'm very prepared for my interviews.
Okay.
If I'm interviewing you, I would know what your history was. I would go back to your old interviews. I would look at the quotes that he said, and I will tell them, listen, do you remember in your earlier interview with Gulf News you said this? How have you changed? So that shows them that you have taken the pains to be prepared. Right now, it could be so easily where I could ask you rapid fire questions about, oh, do you like LBDs or red black dress? Or, you could go really flippant with it.
Yeah.
Do the flippant, but also do the serious. So I'm extremely well prepared. And I always make sure that the other person is very comfortable. They should feel safe with you. Like you get 7 minutes to, let's say, crack that person, right? In those 7 minutes, try to be memorable, whether it's with your manners. Let's say, I'm telling you, great manners go a long way. If a actor tells you he's hungry, like I had Shabana Azmi while I was interviewing for Dubai Film Festival. She's an amazing actress. She was hungry that day and she was doing back-to-back press. I said, listen, why don't you eat first? Whether you give me my slot, it's okay. You eat. Because food is more important. You can be hangry. You'll give me a crappy interview anyways. But she said, you know what, let me just take a bite. Let me just have a sandwich and then I'm all yours. See, that kind of small thing. Or otherwise, what I could have said is, oh, I'm running late for my interview. My editor is waiting for the copy. No, it's about that person. If she's hungry, she needs to eat.
I always say your personal brand is how do you make people feel?
I make them feel at ease. That's
Okay.
my only thing. Do not ambush them. I think that's not fair. Because at the end of the day, I don't think they deserve to as well. They are scrutinized enough. They don't need another person to like be all patronizing and ask them. Come from a space of understanding. Even if you have a crazy take on, let's say, the Me Too movement or anything, learn, understand that these are also human beings with actual feelings. I think that really helps.
How do you stand out within an organization? Because I think a lot of people who are maybe employed traditionally don't see themselves as a personal brand. But you've mentioned the connections you have with other publications, the connections you have with stars. What about the connection you have with the business? How do you stand out in a personal brand in the company?
The thing with Gulf News, I have to admit, I've been there 19 years. And let me tell you that I've grown up with them. The best part about this corporate, I would say, is that they really help you reinvent. That's the key. Kelly, you cannot. I could have easily been a sub editor at E Plus, done some TV listings, and just I'd be very comfortable. It's a 9 to 5 job. Go home. I didn't. I went even after 5 p.m. I did the interviews. I didn't look at time. I really hustled. There's no doubt about it. So the best part is I know many people in my organization who are amazing at what they do, but they're also very careful about their time. It's 9 to 5. I'm all yours. There's also, in a weird way, they know what work-life balance is. I sometimes think with 3 kids, 1 husband, I really don't know what work-life balance is. I'm always switched on. And I think that really helped me. In a weird way, hustling my way through life. I romanticize struggle.
Yeah.
And people always say, oh, let's not romanticize. I'm like, if you don't struggle, how do you make it? Why do you think I'm here? I've had this credibility as a journalist is because I put in the extra hours. I'm okay to put in the extra hours. And there's nothing wrong with struggling. I want to tell everybody who was like struggling on why don't I get noticed? Are you putting in your time consistently? Are you being consistent with what you're doing? Don't start something and forget it if you don't get the hits. If that story is not, keep at it. The only way to stand out from the rest of it, of the noise right now, especially we live in a world of instant gratification, reels, etc., right? You need to know what your brand is. Have a clear understanding. Do you want to appeal to the, let's say, who's your audience? My audience are people who they're very erudite mostly. They also love movies. There's something amazing about grown men running around trees, I say. I truly believe that's what they love. If Bollywood and Hollywood and cinema is in their blood, then give it to them. Let's not second guess them. For instance, if K-pop is doing extremely well, I don't sit and intellectualize or make it very elitist. Oh, why are we writing about K-pop? No. If that is what the readers want, give it to them. Don't question what your readers want or your viewers want. Many people decide, oh, I'm going to be this and let my viewers like it. No, learn from the comments. If they're not liking it, take it as a constructive feedback. Also, I get trolled quite a bit. That really helps.
Your team give you feedback, or you mean from the comments?
From the comments. My team is very supportive. They're the most nicest bunch of human beings. They call me the resident diva. Somebody called me Beyonce of Kerala the other day. I took it as a compliment. I'm like, Beyonce of Kerala, it's a small state in South India. Why not? Things like that. The team is supportive. And I'm also a big team player. I'm like, you can't do it all alone. Just have a great people who support you, and especially women. And in my organization, they're brilliant. No shade to men. Men are awesome. But still, I think women pull in their weight. Yeah. I see them go out on the field. They talk to people. They don't rely on just going to a press conference, writing a story. No, they talk to people. They get a unique spin to it. I love how women in journalism are really the spine of storytelling. And of course, we have some amazing leadership. That really works. And if you embed yourself with a corporate, right, who's really powerful, it really helps. I know people want to go solo now, create your own brand. But why not have the best of both worlds?
Well, you create your brand within the business.
You create within the business. I mean, that's what I'm the living example of that. I could easily branch out alone, solo, and do things. I'm sure it'll be interesting and it'll be a great chapter in my life. And I'm not saying no to it. Never say never. But as of now, I feel being a part of a brand gives you a lot of mileage. And I love that.
How do you balance then, or I think maybe I've taken that from earlier, that there isn't a balance piece, but maybe even the sort of the 3 kids that you mentioned, how do they see what mum does?
And they think I'm famous, honey. And honestly, I'm like, in Bollywood, there's something called a song and dance cameo. We call them the item songs. They're not there. They don't serve the narrative purpose. The girl is there just to look pretty and dance. It's a thing. So I am that item mom. I come to their life once in a while and I'm like, hi guys, remember this face? But the best part about my kids are they're the most independent and supportive children that I have. I love them because they think they Google me. And I think that's pretty cool. I have Ved and Dev, who are my, they're twin boys. They are 10 years old. And Arya, who's 14. They often send me links to my own articles. And they're like, Amma, which means, Mom, Amma, look at you. You're famous. Are you really famous? I'm like, no, honey, I just work very hard. They see me get up at 4 filing copies. They see me put in the hours on a red carpet coming back. And they make sure that they don't make any noise if I'm sleeping. Now I feel, and they treat women kindly. So these are things that I think I'm doing something right, but I'm not a traditional stay at home mom who knows what grade their kids are in. Full disclosure, I don't. But in the macro thing, I think I'm treating them I'm giving them time whenever I can. So for me, quality time is the only way I can do it. I can't be everything. And this whole thing about women having it all, Kelly, is such a mirage. We're just blender without a lid. I'm all over the place on most days. I just happen to look. My hair is done always, right? But generally, I'm like a hamster on a wheel, but a very fashionable looking one.
Yeah, I have to say, no one's ever said that. I'm like a blender without a lid.
That's me. That should be on my tombstone.
You should coin that first. I think that would be a way cooler T-shirt
Yes,
to have
I
that
am
blender
that.
without the lid.
I am. I'm all over. You would know it.
How do you find Dubai has been in terms of opportunities? I mean, you and I have been here a similar amount of time. You and I have talked independently at lengths about opportunities, but share them with those that are watching and listening.
I love Dubai. I feel, you know what, and I'll be honest with you, when it comes to journalism, entertainment and lifestyle journalism, the soft power of these cultural topics is massive. We may not be able to do the most hard hitting of news or cover conflicts. I don't do that, right? But what I did is, here is opportunity where Dubai is like the playground for Bollywood, Hollywood, and the musicians. The kind of concert scene that we have is amazing. I saw an opportunity there, just like how the city cultivated this, they've grown into this hub for all things entertainment. All things big. Like if we had Ed Sheeran perform, we had Coldplay perform. Think about it. These are massive names that they come to the UAE. And if we are not tapping into it, then who will, right? I saw an opportunity there. And I think Dubai does an amazing job of just bringing in people together. Famous people into their hood. How do they do it? I have no clue. But we are there to report it, chronicle it. It's almost like we are the storytellers, just like how Dubai kind of supports these talents. They've also supported the mediascape. Because of them, I have stories every day. Every day, at least, we have 3 performers. We have to break the news saying that, Mariah Carey is performing, Guns N' Roses are coming. It's impossible to keep up. I think that's where Dubai did things right. Dubai, and I would say even Abu Dhabi as well, UAE in general, have done an amazing job of attracting these massive talents. And that's where even journalism for me I grew with them. Like the bigger the stars, I was there chronicling it.
Do you remember when Robbie Williams came in 2004
Yes,
or 5
and
and
I
it was like the biggest concert we'd ever had?
Yes. And then life came full circle when he came last year to promote his movie, his biopic. And I remember he was so good. He was so loving. He was talking about going to India and this Indian deity he had in his hand. It was like they're bringing people back in. Everybody, any celebrity or person that I've spoken to, they've always had such great things to talk about Dubai because it's truly the land of opportunities. It's people who work hard, right? They somehow find success. Yes, there will be failures, of course, but I think Dubai that way, I love that spirit. I keep telling my boss, Mark, as well, that, Dubai is a vibe. I'm like, Dubai is that vibe that nobody else can replicate. Everything else can be replicated. You can replicate buildings, you can replicate, let's say, entertainment parks. But if you don't have a spirit or a vibe, then somewhere you've lost the game. Therefore, I think Dubai is just such a tremendous vibe, incredible vibe.
I love that. So I wanted to wrap up on one question because you've mentioned it a few times. Storytelling. Dubai can tell stories, you tell stories, and it's about humanizing the stories. So in a nutshell, how can you tell a great story?
Say the story in the first 100 words. If you cannot tell us what your story is about in the first 100 words, then there's no story. I mean, I hate to break it to you. Don't make people wait for the lead. just give us what's the news. I think that's work with me. I take the best parts. Let's say we are having this conversation. This whole interview would be the best, the highlight of it. Know what your hook is. Always have a hook to your story. Why are you telling the story? Why should I listen to you? Ask yourself that question. And another thing is, ask yourself, would you read this story? Does this fascinate you? Like this person, Jas Mathur, came to our office the other day. He just told me this incredible story about how he was 450 pounds and lost 250 pounds just by hitting the treadmill. That's your hook. Because people can't hire fancy trainers, right? They can't hire protein rings or be on Ozempic or any of those weight loss drugs. But here is a man who just uses treadmill and managed to lose weight. That's an inspiring story, as opposed to how he made millions. I mean, people can make money, but how do you truly be in shape? That's the holy grail I get. So find out what the hook of your story is, and always remember, if not this story, another incredible story will come along. It's just a matter of time.
And keep thinking about there's not just one story. That's a great tip.
Yeah, and don't think, and if you don't get, I mean, we live in a world where they look at how many stories gets what hits in a certain time. Every day I get like a list of whose story did the best. It can be very demoralizing and inspiring. If you're on top, you feel like on top of the world. If it's not. But don't chase the hits alone. Look at how long did they read the story for. Did they spend more than a minute? That means you won in a weird way, right? So don't go for clickbaits. Just stay at it and be consistent. Don't be disheartened, and always speak the truth. Like ethically, you have to be ethical. And I think that's a currency that I feel many do not follow. Just be ethical. I mean, how difficult is that? Have principles, people.
You've shared some brilliant one-liners. I can tell why you genuinely love what you do, but you have a great way with words and conversation as well.
After 19 years, Kelly, if I'm not good with words, then I really need to be a great mom then.
Yeah.
I'm clearly not. My kids will be like, Amma, which grade am I in? I'm like, babe, I'll get to that. Just give me 2 minutes. And I'm like frantically looking. But yeah, when it comes to words, I do try to be a wordsmith.
Yeah, incredible energy. And I think that also reflects in the conversations that you have. You bring the energy and then you get that back. I mean, not all the time, but I would say more than potentially other journalists would if they brought a different level with them as well.
And right, it's like speed dating. Remember, you get 7 minutes to impress the person, right? In celebrity journalism. So go in for the kill, guys. Go in for the kill.
How can people find you? Which platform are you on the
I'm
most?
on Insta,
Yep.
Facebook, and I'm on Twitter. So yeah, I'm not yet on TikTok. Sometimes I'll be honest with you, Kelly. I feel I'm a bit too late to the TikTok party. I don't know how to keep up. I'll be honest with you. So what I did is I'm thinking of hiring somebody to actually do it for me. Don't do everything yourself.
Yeah.
You can't have everything down pat. Seek help.
That's where we could step in.
That's it. There, I know, Kelly, the way you have built your brand, it's amazing. I have to tell you, it's so beautiful to speak about my journey with you, because when I see people like you evolving, reinventing the wheel, it just, and you're an author yourself. That's one thing I want to do. When I do have some time and I'm retired or something, I'm going to write a book about all my experiences. But this will be one of my highlights as well.
Love it. Thank you so much for your time and sharing your insights and inspiring those who are listening and watching.
Thank you, Kelly. It's my pleasure and my privilege.